So today we will be continuing with the Git day 4 session. I know it's very long gap we have given from the Git day 3 to day 4, right? It's almost a month right now. So we and in the last session, right, we had covered up to Git merge actually, right? So Git merge was the main topic which I had covered, and many things we had discussed on it, like how to resolve the merge conflicts and all, right? So now the next day topic, today's topic or the today's agenda would be that we will be covering about the Git branching. So very important topic, guys. So we need to learn or we need to understand about the branching concept, because when you start working on the Git, right, we will be getting into more on the branching itself. Actually, without branching, we will not be able to work on the Git. So branching is a core part of your Git administration. So whoever are working on Git, right, like as an admin or a DevOps, right, he should know very well how the branching works. Actually, okay. So now so let us start, or let us understand what exactly the branch means, right? So we will try to understand through the diagrammatical format about the Git branching. So Git branching is our main topic today. Okay. So now, so here, so we will try to take up the, we will try to understand through the Git server first. Like suppose I have one machine, which is nothing but this is my Git server. Okay, so you can have a Git server either in your on-premises or either in your cloud or GitHub. But right now I am considering as on the on-premises, because here, even in all the first 2-3 sessions, right, I considered the Git server to be under the on-premise itself. In that I have set up my own Git server. I have not used the GitHub, like a repository or GitHub server. Later in the upcoming session, we will see how to create an account in a GitHub and all, how to maintain our Git server into the GitHub. So we have not come into that till now. We are just playing with the Git server being configured on the on-premises. Okay, and this is what my IP address. This is a private IP address, right? This is a private IP address. So this is what the IP address of my Git server. Correct. So here, so this is my main Git server, and and I have installed all the Git packages and all. I need not to explain it again. So you can watch the previous video and you will understand how to install the Git package and all, how to configure it, everything, right? Now here in the Git server, so what I will do basically, I will try to create a directory, something like I'll do a mkdir, same thing, I'll say slash project directory. I'll get inside the slash project directory, and here what I will do, like I will do a git init -fn bear. You know very well that if you do this command, right, what will happen, that a git server will be configured, right? Correct. The Git server will be configured here. So this will be considered as a Git server, main Git server, right? So after this, what will happen, right? Here we have configured the Git and we have created a project directory. Okay. Now we have one more client machine, or the Git client 1 or Git client 2. There are two machines are there, Git client 1, Git client 2. So consider that this is a Git client 1, or else I can consider as a developer 1. So developer 1 machine. Like how here we have, right, the servers, right? I'm taking the same stuff. Actually, you have a Git server, you have a developer 1 and developer 2. These are the two clients, Git clients, or developer and developer 2, where they'll be committing the changes to the main Git server, right? That's what we have been learning. Correct. So here what happened, that this is considered, this is a Git client or the developer 1 machine. So what the developer will do, the same stuff. The developer will try to try to create one directory first. So what he'll do, he'll say mkdir like slash something developer 1. He'll do a cd to the developer 1, and now what he will do, first he has to initialize as a git for the Git he has to initialize, right? So he has to do a git init command. So as soon as you run the git init, so whatever the folder you have developer 1, right, that will be initialized with the Git, right? That means that the versioning will get enabled when you do a git init. Correct. Now what he will do, he will basically try to create a file. Before that, actually he has to do a remote connection. Actually, you know that he has to basically do a remote connection from your Git server to your developer on mission. So what he will do, he will run a command git remote. This you have already seen, git remote add origin, and then say root at the rate. Give the IP address of the server like 172.31.20.86, right? That's the IP address of stash project, right? So basically he has to first, right? He has to execute this command git remote add origin root at the rate. This we have seen in the previous also. Now after this, what he will do, he will try to create a file actually. Suppose like he will create a file something like vi, suppose something like index.html file. Okay, and what he will do, he will try to add some content to the file, something like welcome to India, something, correct? Welcome to India. Later he will save that file. After that, what he will do, he will execute a command git add, because he has to make that file index.html under the staging actually. So he has to do a git add index.html. Then he will do a git commit -m, something like m1 or the commit 1c1, and specify the index.html. So you know that as soon as he commits, actually, as soon as he commits, basically what happened, right? A commit ID will get created. Correct? A commit ID will get created. So now what you will do that, so it has been committed into a local repository. So this file index.html has been committed to a local repository. Once it commits to the local repository, okay, a commit ID will be get generated, something 111, it will get generated, right? Now here by default, when you do a commit, right, by default what happened in this developer one machine, by default a branch with the name master will get created. By default a branch by name master will get created. By default a branch by name master will get created. So like this, the master will be there here, the master branch will be there. Now if you try to do a git push origin master, if you run the command git push origin master, so what happened that whatever this file, right, the index.html file, right, so whatever this index.html file is there, right, that will get pushed into your git server actually, right here. And even here also what happened, right, by default even this master branch will also get pushed here. So here also a master branch will get pushed here, right? Now as soon as this master branch will get pushed here, usually what happened, right, usually what happened that here we will try to configure one Jenkins server. Okay, we will try to configure one Jenkins server like this. Okay, we'll configure a Jenkins server. We'll configure one Jenkins server, and this Jenkins server will get integrated with your Git server actually. It gets integrated, okay, into the Git server. It get integrated with your Git server. So now here what happened, right? As soon as a new code is pushed into the master branch, what exactly happens? But here, what happened that here you have set up a Jenkins server where what happened that you have written some kind of a pipelining or some kind of a job you have written, right? So what will happen that basically that here what happened that there will be some kind of a job, like job one will be there. Okay. Now what the job will do that the job one, what it will do that it whatever the code has been pushed here. So what the job one will do, there is one more build server which has been integrated over here also. You means you have placed or you have maintained one more build server here actually. Build server. So whatever the codes which comes into the master branch, right? As soon as the user, as soon as the developer does a git push origin master, right? So the code will get come into the Git server, right? And here by default, you, as I said, right, the master branch will also be pushed over here, and the master branch, you could see that the master branch appears over in the Git server. As soon as code commit changes happen into the Git server, immediately what happened into the Jenkins, you have written in such a way that the job one should get triggered actually. So what happened, right? Already what you have did, right? You have maintained one Git server, or sorry, one Jenkins server. That Jenkins server you have integrated with your Git server. So this and all we will see later on how to do this, but I'm just telling you practically how things works in a real-time scenario. Okay. So now once the job, once the like the code is pushed into the Git server, automatically what happened, right? There is a changes into the master branch. So immediately what happened in the Jenkins, you have written one job one, and that job one will get triggered. What the job one will do basically, the job one will try to, it will try to copy that master, whatever the code which is in the master branch to this build server. And here what happens, some kind of build activity will happen. It means that the code will get built. Suppose assume that you have written the code into the Java using Java program, right? So here you have something like a Maven build actually. So Maven you have configured into the build server where the Maven has been integrated, and with the help of a Maven command, what it will do, Maven is going to build this code. It means that basically it will compile the code, it will build the code, okay, and it will create a package, and finally what happened, right? You will get one build. Suppose assume that this project, whatever this project, what you the developer has developed, right? Assume that that project is something like a e-commerce project actually, e-commerce project. So basically what happened, right? Under the build server, it will build the package, and finally it will create one e-commerce actually, ecom one dot exe file will get created. So this is one this is one executable which has been created by the build server. So now so what the job one will do, job one basically it will try to pull the code whatever is in the master to the build server, and finally it will try to do a build activity. So once it builds it, it creates an executable actually. It creates a package, or it will create an executable, right? Now, after this, what will happen, right? What will happen that there are many more jobs are there. After the job one will get executed, the job two or the job two will get triggered. So what the job two will do basically, like again, here what happened, the build server has completed its task, fine. Now later what happened, right? Here there you have one more deployment server. Assume that there is one server by name deployment server, which is nothing but you have configured the Ansible here. So Ansible will act like a build server actually. So guys, we have still not yet come into the what is Ansible or Jenkins and all. I'm just trying to tell you in the later session, as you know that we'll be covering the Jenkins as well as Ansible tool to much more extent. But try to also try to understand that actually once the build server builds the job activity, finally what happened, there has to be some kind of a deployment tool where you have to deploy the build into your servers, into the production server. So Ansible is one of the deployment tool is there. So what the job 2 will do basically, that the job 2, it will try to copy this exe file, exe into your Ansible server. So it will try to copy it. Once it copies it, what happens that basically in the Ansible server, there is one Ansible playbook file will be there. Playbook file will be there. So that playbook file, what happened, it get executed. So again, what happened, there is one more job will be there, like something like job 3, that will trigger the execution of this playbook file. So once this playbook file will get executed, so what the playbook will do, there are some production servers are there here. Like here, usually what happened, right? You have some production servers. Like for example, you have something like this. Production servers you are maintaining. So within this production servers, basically what you're doing, this is something like you have some 3 to 4 production servers are there. In the real time, it could be more than 3 to 4 servers. Just I'm assuming that there are some 4 servers are there. These are the 4 servers which are there in your production servers actually. So consider this as a blue green deployment actually. Okay. So now what happened that this is but these are the production environment. This is the production environment actually, or production servers actually. So and this act like a blue green deployment. So what the playbook will do basically, the playbook will try to push this code or exe file into this production servers like this. Into this production servers like this. So here what happened, ultimately this whole exe file or the executable or your e-commerce project, right? It is ultimately it is being pushed into your production server. So in this production server, what happened? It acts like a green-blue deployment where one server will be in active and other set of the server will be in a passive mode. It means that basically one server will always be active live. It will be giving, it will be giving the service to the customer. The other will be in a passive mode. So as soon as this server goes down, so this passive will become active like that actually. And here again, what happened, right? So here you are maintaining the load balancers like this. This is a load balancer, like something like this. Load balancers. Load balancer, right? And here what happened? This load balances is integrated with this particular production servers like this. It has been integrated here like this, right? And we'll give the name something like a load balancer 1 and load balancer 2, something like LB1 and LB2, load balancer 1 and load balancer 2, like this something. So here on top of this load balancer, what happened? You maintain one DNS server actually. So this will act like a DNS server. So this DNS server, what happened? You maintain a record actually, right? And this DNS server, and you have hosted a website, something like by name, the name of the website is something like www.mycloudecommerce.com, something like that actually, correct? And in this DNS server, you are maintaining a record actually, something like this. LB1 name, okay, mycloudecommerce.com LB2, something like that. This is the kind of a record you are maintaining, right, under your DNS. mycloudecommerce.com, something like this, right? And here what happened? This DNS, what happened, right? It is exposed to the internet, right? And here you have an internet. So here this is the internet, right? And again, what happened? There are a lot of customers are there who will be sitting over here, right? I'm just writing a small boxes because I don't have space, right? And what happened that they will, whenever they want to download this software, what they will do, they'll try to connect over the internet and they'll try to do a www.ecommerce.com. And once, as soon as the DNS resolve it, and it will try to redirect the request to the load balancer, and from here the load balancer, the request will come to the production where all the softwares are being they are being provided, or those softwares are here up and running in the production environment, right? So this is a typical scenario where you could see that this is a complete kind of a pipelining where they maintain in the industry, correct, right? So here we have not yet come to the branching actually, but I will tell you the use case of when the branching will be used. Okay, so now here what happened that this is the Jenkins server and this is the Git servers, and we will see later how to integrate the Git server with the Jenkins servers and with all these build servers and Ansible or the deployment server. We will see it later as a project itself, but time being, you understand that actually whenever the developer one, he'll try to do a commit actually. So whenever he did the commit, basically the commit is going to push the commit or then push the code into your master branch of in the Git server. Once the code is pushed into the Git server, as soon as there is a code changes or there is a changes which happens in the master branch, immediately what happened in the Jenkins, there are some jobs are there. The jobs will get triggered actually. So as a part of the execution of this job, basically what happened, this e-commerce.exe, right? This is your software or this application, right? Which gets built, and finally this will get pushed to the production server, right? Now the scenario comes, right, where the developer is developing and he's pushing the code, but it is not mandatory that it will do the build at the first time itself, right? And it will do a perfect software you'll get, right? It is not possible, right? Because like a lot of errors or a lot of mistakes will be keep doing by the developers, right? So even though he's doing some one line change, code change, right? The immediately what happened, the code will be pushed to the Git server, and as soon as the code is pushed to the Git server, immediately what happened that there's a change happening to the master branch. Once the changes are mastering the happening branch, what happened that automatically the Git will start running this or executing these jobs actually. So here what is happening is that actually, even though sometime what happened, right, your software will be perfect, but there will be bug in your software. So it is not a good way to always push the code or push the software with the bug actually into the production server, right? Or assume that the software itself is not correct actually. There are a lot of issues are there in the software. So you cannot push the softwares into a production service, right? and that is not feasible, right? So here what happened, right? In a day, suppose assume that this developer one is doing some 20 changes, or is doing some 20 commits. 20 times the build will happen, and the same build will be pushed on the production server, right? So I mean, this is not a right way, right? This is in the real time, right? This really doesn't work out, right? Because you cannot push an unstable code or unstable software into the production servers, right? So what the production DevOps engineer will do, that he will say that, okay, boss, whatever the code has been pushed out, it is highly unstable. Without doing any further testing, or without you doing any kind of testing, how you can push the code into a production servers? So he will say that not to push any kind of a code without any proper testing, or without any stable code. Don't push the code into the production server. He will say like that. So he will not agree the code to be pushed on a production server, because he want to see the stability of the software. So here what happened, that as I said, right, like for the first build itself, or the first push itself, your software product will not be stable. There will be a lot of bugs will be there, or there will be error. So without any proper testing or validation, you cannot push that code, or you cannot push that software into the production server. That's not the way it happens in the industry, right? So what really happens, right? So here what they will say, that he will say, the DevOps engineer say that, okay, don't push any code into the production server unless and until the code is stabilized actually. So now in that case, what has to be done? So for that reason, what happened, that the branching concept comes into the picture. Now what the developer will be told, right? So the developer will be told, right? The developer will be told that actually, okay, now what you can do here actually, here you can create one branch here. Okay. So now what happened, that you have been all the days you have been doing every code change into the master branch. Fine. Now don't do all the code change into the master branch. First you create your own branch actually. You create one branch actually. Do all the changes into the branch actually. Okay. So I'll assume that the branch name is something like a staging branch. Okay. So how to create a staging branch? So what the developer one will do, that he will create a branch. So how to create a branch? So this is the command, guys. You'll do. You'll say git branch. Okay. He'll say git branch, and he will say something like a branch name is staging. You can give anything. I can even give something like a ecom 1.0 branch actually. Like that, I can give anything. Okay. You can give your own name, but okay, fine. I can give the e-commerce 1.0, or else let me give the name as the staging itself actually. Time being. Okay. So I'll say git branch staging. I will give. Okay. And after that, what you will do, that you will do a git checkout staging. It means that you want to get into the staging, means you have to do a git checkout staging. After that, what he will do, that he will open the same file, index.html file. Okay. Now what he will do, that he will try to edit some more files. Already the line was there, something like welcome to India. So this line was already there. India, something like this. I will add some more thing. Welcome to AWS session. Welcome to Azure DevOps, something. So I'll just add to lines of the code. After this, what I will do, I will do a git commit -m. I will do something like a commit to, okay, and I will mention the file index.html file. He'll try to create one commit ID, something like 222, some commit ID to create. Now, okay, so I've committed the code changes, so it will be there in its local staging area or staging branch. Now I need to push the code. So when I want to push the code, I'll say git push origin. Now this time I will not say master. I will not say master, because if you do a push, if you say git push origin master, what happened, that the code will get pushed to the master branch. Once the code will get pushed to master branch, again what happened, that because since it is integrated with Jenkins, all these jobs will get triggered again. So I don't want to do that again, right? So hence what I will do, that I'll say git push origin, and I will do here as a staging branch. Okay. Now as soon as you do a git push origin staging branch, what will happen, that here what happened, right? The code, the same code, it will get pushed into your stager actually. But here what happened, right? A new branch will get created here. Earlier there was a master, a new branch by name staging will get created here. Okay. Now, as soon as the staging will get created here, what you have did in the same Jenkins, what you have did, you have created some other jobs like that. Job 1, this is pertaining to the staging. Job 1, job 2, and job 3, something. Job 3. So what happened that as soon as there is some changes or some code commit happen to the staging branch, what happened immediately, what happened, the Jenkins will get triggered. So what it will do that this staging branch, right, it will try to trigger this job 1. It will try to trigger this job 1 like this. Now what the job 1 will do that, the job 1 what will do that, there is one more build server will be there, and one more new build server will be there. It's same thing like here also one more new build server there. This is nothing but this is pertaining to the staging build server actually. Staging build server. Staging build server. Okay. So this is pertaining to staging build server. So what it will do that this job 1 what it will do, it will try to fetch the code from the staging branch to a build server. It will try to build it, and finally what happened that it will try to give some software, something like e-commerce 1.1.exe. We'll try to create it. So this will build it. So once it builds it, what happened, right? Once the job 1 get completed, the job 2 will get triggered. In the job 2, what happened, right? Again, what happened, right? There will be one more build server here. So this is pertaining to the stager, guys. This is pertaining stage. This is not for your master branch. This is for pertaining to the. This is same thing. This is also one of the Ansible server. One more Ansible server is there. This is for Ansible server for your staging actually. So what the job 2 will do, the job 2, whatever you are having in a ecom1.exe, right, that will get copied into your Ansible server, staging Ansible server. Okay. So I'll do one thing. Let me just rub this, guys, actually, because I need some space here. Okay. So here, okay, done. So now what happened, right? As soon as this get copied, actually, this get copied, it means that the job 2 will get copied, and later what happens, the job 3 will get triggered. This job 3, what it will do that, it will try to call a playbook file actually. So whatever the playbook file you have, right, here inside your Ansible server or Ansible staging, you have some kind of a playbook file actually. So that playbook file, what it will do that, it will try to it'll try to get executed. This what it'll do, right? Basically, this playbook file, again, what happened, you are maintaining some few servers like this actually. You are maintaining some few servers. This act like a like pre-prod servers actually, or pre-prod servers actually. This act like a pre-prod servers actually. It's act like a pre-prod servers, pre-production servers actually. So now what will do that, this playbook, whatever what it do that, whatever you are having e-commerce 1.exe, right, that it will try to push this through the playbook file. It will try to push into this pre-prod servers. So the code will get pushed into the pre-prod servers actually. And later what you did, right, your industry in your company, right, they have hired some QA engineers who will do a validity of this build, whatever the software is there, right, under this pre-prod server. They will try to validate everything. It means that they will do some kind of a UAT testing and everything, and they'll try to check and they'll try to validate whether the software, whatever e-commerce 1.exe, right, it is perfectly working or not, working fine or not. So based on their like based on their results, right, whatever they do the activity, right, they will tell to the developers. So if they test it and they find out there are some functionality issues are there, right, so what they'll do, they will connect to the developer one and they will say that okay, there is some change, there is some changes to be required actually to be done, so it is still not properly working. Like that, they'll give the feedback or they'll give the information to the developer. So what the developer one will do, again he will try to work on the code, again he will do a same thing, he will check out from the staging and everything, he will do a git origin push and staging. Again what happened, the code will get pushed to the staging branch which is there in your git server. From this, as soon as the staging branches get changed, actually here what happened, because since it is integrated with the Jenkins server, again this sets of job, this job 1, job 2, job 3, which is in green color, right, this will get triggered, and finally what happened, the build will get through the build server, the build get build up, and finally from there what happened, the Ansible server is going to push those codes into the pre-prod server actually. These are the pre-production servers. right? And again, what happened that finally what will happen that this again this QA engineers or the testers, right? They will try to validate the code. Now they will confirm saying that okay, now things are working fine. Whatever the changes are there, right? It is expected as required, right? It is expected, it is working fine. So they'll give the feedback to the developer. Once they say that, once everything, they will do a quality testing of all the complete product, everything, the product working in the product flow. Now this same QA engineers will give the confirmation to the developer one or to the stakeholders. Once they give the confirmation, now what happened, right? There's a Git administrator, right? The Git administrator will come into the picture. The Git administrator. What happened, right? The Git administrator will come to the picture, or the DevOps engineer will come to the picture. So what the Git administrator will do here, the Git admin, what he will do, right? Basically, he will try to, now what happened that now the same code is properly or perfectly working in your pre-prod server. So once it perfectly works, now what the Git admin or the DevOps engineer will do, right? He will try to merge this staging branch into a master branch. So to merge it, actually, what he will do that there are two ways he can do. Okay, either he can do with the Git uh, Git merge staging to the master, like this you can do, or else you can be under the master branch itself. You can just say Git, or else you can just say Git merge staging. Anything you can either say Git merge staging master, or else if you're sitting inside the master itself, you're inside the master branch itself, you can just execute the command Git merge staging. So once you do once you execute this command Git merge staging, so what will do that whatever the code is there, right, that will get merged into the master branch. Once it get merged to the master branch, now what happened? The master branch, the change has been occurred. Again, what happened that Jenkins will get triggered these jobs. So these are which are in black color, right? Job 1, job 2, job 3. This will get triggered. So this what it will do, it will try to build that application, and finally what happened? The whole application will get deployed by your build server, that is the Ansible server, to the production environment. Correct. So basically what happened that he will try to push into this. So this will act like a blue green deployment. Right? This is something like, assume that this is a green server and this is the blue server, right? So this is a blue server. So now what happened that this is active and this is a passive actually. So what the Ansible will do, the build server will do, it will try to push the code, whatever the code is there, right? Whatever the code is there, it will try to push the code into your passive server. So what this ecom, it will try to push over here in this, right? It will try to push here into all these codes into a passive actually. Correct, guys? Now once everything will get pushed, right, so into the blue server, because this is active, you cannot push directly into it because this will be serving the service to the customer or the clients actually, because this is passive. So the code will be pushed here. Once the code push is completely, everything is done actually, then this blue server will be turned as an active and this will be turned as a passive. Green will be turned as a passive. Again, what happened in the Ansible playbook file, what happened, right? Again, you have written one more playbook file actually. So that playbook file, what it will do, it will try to push the code, the same code, now into this green server actually, into this, right? So in that way, what happened, right? You are able to achieve the pushing the complete code, right? From, so this is what you are maintaining through the blue-green deployment, right? That's what it happens. Now this will be acting like, this will be blue will be acting as active and this will be passive. Once it turns into the passive, now what happened? The playbook will try to push the code into your green servers. So this is how it happens, guys. Actually, what happened right here, the staging will come to a very important thing. Why? Because you know right now, because unless and until the code will get stabilized, unless until the codes will get stabilized, what happened? You have to keep committing or do the change into the staging branch actually. So from the staging branch, if the code gets stabilized, then only the push the code into the master branch, right? So once the code stabilizes, once the UAT testing environment, the quality engineers, once they certified saying that the code is properly working, perfectly working, then the Git admin will going to push the code changes from the staging to the master branch. And once the master branch will get committed, or it means that there is some changes happening, immediately these jobs will get executed, and this will try to install that software into your live server or into the production server. So this is what one of the a real-time scenario where the branching will help a lot actually. So that's what we always require branches. Without a branches, we'll not be able to work actually. We will always not be committing all the codes into the mastering only. We'll not always be committing the codes into the master branch only. So it is not feasible, right? So hence what happened, we will try to create a lot of branches actually. It will be all the developers will be doing code changes or code commit to the master branch, to the branches actually. Later, once the code everything will get pushed to the staging or to the branches actually. Once you see that there's a stability in that, then only the whole code will get merged from the particular staging branch to the master branch. Is it clear, guys? Any doubts you have? Because we are not got into the just theoretically explained you. Okay, now we will get into the practicals actually. Okay. Okay. So okay, fine. Now, okay, to make you understand this example, right? So what we will use the same name here also, like staging itself. I will not take any other name, and I will not be able to show you the Jenkins, all these things and all, right? Because like we will be showing as a project actually later on. So I'll just to show you like how exactly the branches works over here, right? Now the question comes, right? Actually, who will create a branch, right? Suppose assume that here they have a you have a main Git server, right? And you have a developer one, and you have a developer two, right? So this is a Git server. This is the developer one machine, and this is the developer two. Now the question comes: who will create a branch? Branch can be created by anyone. Either let the Git server create a branch. Suppose assume that already there's a master branch is there. Okay. Now what happened? The Git server, what he will do? He will say Git branch, and he will say something like staging only. So he will create a branch as a staging actually. Okay. Now what happened that the developer one, he has to work on to the staging actually. He has to work on the staging. So what the developer one will do, he will try to do a git of fetch. So whatever the new branches which are being created, that you need to fetch means you need to work on that branch means usually the developer one has to do a fetch actually. So when he fetches it, whatever the branches which are there in the git server, right, that will get visible into the developer's one machine. So that's what you have to run the get fetch command. Similarly, even here also, what happened that here also the developer one will try to do a git fetch actually. So as soon as you fetch it, whatever you have the branches over here, right, that branches will get be seen by the developer two also. So here what happened, right, the staging branch will get appear here also, so that he can start working on the staging. Here also the staging will get appeared as soon as the developer two do a get fetch, right, the staging will get appeared in the developers two machine also, like this. Okay. Or else what you can do, that developer himself can create a branch. Like for example, this is one more scenario. Like he will say that, okay, Rajesh will say that Rajesh, I'll create a Git branch. I will say something like developer one. So I'll create my own branch. I'll create my own branch. I will start working on that. So as soon as he create a branch, he has to do a Git checkout and the developer one, like this. He whenever he want to get inside the branch side, he has to do a Git checkout actually. So once he do a Git checkout on the developer one, he will start working on the developer one branch. Once he does a lot of commits, right? Finally, what happened that he need to push the changes. What are the changes which is there in the developer one, right? He has to do a push of all those changes from his developer one branch to the staging branch. And from that staging branch, what happened that the code has to be pushed from staging branch to the server branch, so main Git server actually. So here what happened that a new branch will get created by name staging actually. So this staging, as soon as the staging will get changes, right? It means that the developer is pushing the changes to the stager branch. You know very well that I actually have integrated everything into the Git server, right? Into the Jenkins server, right? So here in the Jenkins server, again the same thing. Here this jobs will get triggered actually. And what happened ultimately, the whole code will get into the pre-production branch or into the pre-production server actually. So I am not pushing the code changes completely directly into the master branch, right? Because I want to first test it, right? I want to verify it, right? Because the Q engineers, they have to certify, right? They have to check the quality of the code also, right? So that and all I have to do through the staging only. Once the staging will get completed successfully, then only I will do a merge from the staging to the master branch, so that once the master branch changes will happen, right? Ultimately, what happened that this set of build jobs has to get triggered, where it will be directly doing a code push into the production server side. So that I will be doing later on, right? So here there are two scenarios. Either the Git server itself or the administrator itself can create a branch, and then the developer one and developer two can work on that specific branch, or else the developer itself, they can create their own branches like this. Here the developer one also can create his branch, Git branch or something. He will create something developer two like this. You can say Git checkout developer like this. We can work on it. So we will see both the scenarios actually. How to, so first earlier I will see that first Git administrator, Git maintainer or the DevOps engineer itself will create the branch actually. And later I will show you how the developers themselves will create a branch, their own branch, and they'll start working on that. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, hi Rajesh.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi Rajesh, this is Nagabhushan.
Yes,
This
sir.
is my first session of yours. So I'm
Yeah.
just attending this very first time, and
Yeah.
I'm really good. Actually, you're going deeper into that. I
Yeah.
have one question, like more like when it comes to Git, right? Like we'll have that local repository and remote repositories,
Hmm.
like local copy and remote copy for every
Correct.
branch, right? So I request you if you could, you know, put some lights on that, like so that we can understand. Like,
Nagbhushan, that everything have been covered in the first three sessions itself.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So
I
I
missed
would,
that.
yeah, I would request you to go through those recording actually.
Sure, Rajesh. Yeah.
Okay, please.
Sorry.
Or else, if you have still have doubt, you connect me offline. I will explain you again. But
Thank.
those videos, no, it'll definitely it'll try to clear your doubts. Everything.
Yeah, sure.
Hmm?
I'll go to that videos. Yeah. Thank you
Sure,
so
sure.
much. But
Thank you, Nan.
really, it looks good. Yeah. So far, like, yeah, I'm
Sure.
able
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Now let us see the practicals now, guys. So we have these three servers, actually Git server, developer, and developer two. So let me log into this servers actually. So I log into this servers, and you know everything like how to configure Git and all. I'll not be showcasing all those things. You can learn through all your previous sessions. So let me log into all these three servers actually. So I logged into Git, and this is a developer one. Okay, 197, right? Okay. Okay. Guys, you could see here that it is having something like here. You could see 1 by 2 check passed actually. There is some issues that happened into this server actually. You could see that it is not turned into green actually. So that's what I'm not able to log into this server. So what I'll do, I'll try to reboot this server actually. I'll try to reboot this server. So developer one, I'm trying to reboot it actually. Stop the instance. Sometime it happens like the status check. I always have to check the status check. If it is 1 by 2, right, then it means that there is some issue with that server actually. It might not come properly, or you need to reboot the machine. So now it has been not stopped completely. It is still in the stopping state. So I have to wait for some time to get stopped. Again, I'll stop it or terminate. Not terminating instance. Force instance stop. Okay. Mhm. It has to come into the stop state actually. Okay. Let's see. Let me start it actually. Start the instance. Fail to start the instance. There is some point to be started actually. Yes, it will not get started like this. This is sometime it happens like this actually. So either you need to terminate the instance or else you need to, like wait for some time. If still things are not working, what you have to do that you have to terminate the instance and create a new instance actually. Okay, now it has been stopped. You could see that it's been stopped now. Now I'll say I'll click on this and I will say start instance. So hopefully this has to come up now. I know it is killing some time, but no, it's a good thing that now if you come across with such issues, right? It'll always be good. Many times I have faced this issue, guys, and like many times it never comes up only. So you might ask, like, how come the Amazon was doing like that, right? You might have your important data into the server, right? And you said that the server itself is lost. How I can know? That's the reason what happened. Right? You should always maintain a backup, right? You need to keep a snapshot of your the whole instance actually. So once you keep a snapshot of, even though servers has gone down or due to some issue, right? So if the machine is not coming up, you have a snapshot of it and you can create one more server and just copy that snapshot so that you will recover all the data like that. See, it is still in the initializing stage. So the status check is showing initializing stage actually. It will take time, guys. Actually, some time it will take. I've not seen this same issue in the Azure or in GCP actually. In GCP, even though you are making a server up and running for more than 1 year, for more time actually, even though the server is up and running, you have did a lot of times you have stopped the server, you start the servers, you will not see this issue actually. Not sure. Sometime in Amazon it happens like that. Sometime. So it is still it will not come up actually. So even though now you still try to connect, right, you will not get connected here. See, copy this IP address. Again, you go back here. So oh great, now it has come. Okay. So I've logged into the developer 2 now. Sorry, developer 1 now. Okay. So I'll go back to the developer 2, this machine. So copy the IP address, public IP, open the putty session, copy over here, change the appearance. I'll give the font as 14 and I will give the background, system background, and then say I'll open it. Okay. So I have all these three server guys actually, and I've logged in as a root itself. Okay. I'm doing everything as a root itself. So this is a developer two, sorry, developer one, this is a developer two, right? So we'll try to reproduce the same scenario, whatever we did here, right? The same thing I'm going to here do the same stuff here. Now, what I will do basically as a root user, first let me create one project directory. This you know very well, we have been doing. So mkdir/project, get into the cd/project, and then say git init -fn bear. To execute this command, right? Because you're making it as a server actually. That's what you have to do, a git init -fn pair, right? Now, so this is what you have initialized that as git server. Okay, fine. Now I'll go back to your developer one. In the developer one, what you will do that I will create one developer one as a directory. Say I'll say mkdir developer one cd to the developer one, and what I will do, I'll say git init. I have initialized, I have made this developer one directory as a Git versioning actually. You have to do a execute the command git init, right? Similarly, in the developer two, I will create one directory mkdir developer two cd. Okay, I think I will rename this. developer -2. So developer, then say git init. Here. Now once you've initialized with the git init, so now what I will do that I will do a git remote add origin, okay, root @ give the IP address of your git server, okay. To this you know very well from the first three like sessions you have seen all these things. So git remote add origin root, right? You have to do this actually. So once you have did this, what you will do that you will try to do a clone actually. Git clone. See all those password authentication, everything you have did, guys, actually. Okay, same thing. But to do a clone actually. Once you clone it, okay, it is asking for the password actually. Okay, I think already enabled the password authentication. Why it has happened? Passwordless authentication. Let me check. Okay. I think let me do one thing, guys. SSH. Okay. So this you know very well whatever I'm doing it. Actually, I'll copy it here. I'll copy this public key. I'll go over here. I'll go to the .ssh and open the authorized keys here. I'll try to remove all these things. I'll try to copy this. I'll try to copy this developer. Save this file. Same thing what I've done in the developer 2. I will go to the .ssh. I'll open the idrasa.pub file, copy this content, developer 2. Go back here, open the authorized key. Okay, and here just paste it here. Okay, and I think I missed it developer 2, right? So yeah, I will the 2 I have missed it here. I'll say this one. So this is what the passwordless authentication you are making it enable actually. Okay, now going back here, go back to your developer 1. Okay, here you know that now if I do a git clone, same thing, root, you already did it, but again I'm doing it. Git clone root @ give the IP address of your git server and do a / project actually. Now you could see that this project already exists. Now if you remove this project, now you do a git clone again. It will not ask you for anything. See, it has been cloned. It means that it does not ask for any password. Okay, guys. Guys, can you, if you have any questions, ask me or else you can unmute. Guys,
So far it is good, Rajesh. Yeah.
Yeah. Please mute yourself. Sir, please mute yourself. Could you please mute yourself, Nagbhushan?
No, I have muted. I've already muted.
No, I'm getting a lot of voice here. Please mute yourself. Again, you mute yourself.
No, Rajesh, it's not from me.
No, it's you only. Oh, a lot of noise is coming. Sir, could you reconnect again one more time, please?
Yeah, I'll rejoin. Yeah.
Yeah, please rejoin. Oh, okay. Somebody else, I think. Sorry.
Somebody else, sir.
Who is this?
Who is newly joined? Somebody.
Hello.
Is it from me,
No,
Rajesh?
not from you. Sorry. It is from someone else, actually. Who is this? Naresh, can you repeat?
Yeah, somebody joined, sir, unnecessarily.
Please, guys. Hello. Hello.
We are unable to remove bugs, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are unable to remove. Who can do it? Yeah. Hello. Did anyone remove it?
Yeah, I removed. I tried. I removed.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Now, so the developer one, right? What he has cloned it. Now you could see that when I cloned it, actually it didn't ask me for the password, actually, right? Because like the password authentication, right? That public key was not present in the the Git server. Hence, it was asking for the password. Now everything is fine. Now what I will do, I'll go to the project directory. Here, what I will do as a developer one, what he will do, he will say vi index.html file. He'll create a file. He'll say welcome to India something. He'll save that file, and what he will do, he will say git. First, he will say git status actually. So you could see that it is just untracked file. You have to make it tracked, right? To make it tracked, you have to say git add and specify the index.html file. Now, if you execute a command git status, now it has been under a track. Now you need to do a commit now actually. So if you guys have not seen my previous video, everything will be very much new for you, right? So you need to go through all the previous sessions actually. You have to say git commit -m, specify something like first commit something, anything, first commit from developer one, and specify the index.html. Right now we have committed it. Now if you do a git log, you could see that actually that you have committed it, and you could see that you got a commit ID, right? And this is the first, this is the message, right? First commit from the developer one. Now this is all these things are there in your developer one machine actually, in the local machine. You need to push that changes into your Git server actually, right? Into Git server. So under this cd/project, you need to push over here actually. So to push it actually, what you have to do that you have to say git push origin master. So once you push it, what happened right here, you could see that the code has been pushed. If you execute the git log command here in the Git server, you could see that, see this commit has come from the developer one, and this is what the message you could see. It means that already this commit has been pushed from the developer one machine to the Git server, right? So now what you will do that, what the developer two will do that, developer two, he want to do the changes into the same project actually. He want to work on the same project, so he is already into the developer 2 directory. So what he will do that, he will do a git, he can even do a git clone. Okay, he can do a git clone root at the rate, specify the IP address of your Git server cd/project. He has cloned it. Now you could see that he is under the, he will get into the project directory. The whole, it means that when you're doing a cloning actually, basically you're copying the whole set of the whole project directory, right? The whole project directory, whatever you are having, right? The same project directory, the whole project directory, you're copying it when you're doing a git clone actually. So git clone always, so whenever you're doing anything, right, you have to first clone it actually. It means that whatever the latest and the foremost changes are there into a git server, right, that you need to first copy it actually. So to do that, you have to say git clone and specify the complete path information about your project, as well as username and the password and the whole project directory. You have to do the complete path like this actually. So here, after doing that, you could see that here you have having index.html file, right? So what I'll do, I'll say index.html file. I'll open it. Okay, already this line is there. So before doing that, what he will do, right? The developer will do, he will just execute the command git log. Or he will say that, oh, he'll get to know, okay, already there's one commit has been done by the developer one. Okay, fine. He'll get to know, and this is a commit ID. Okay, fine. He'll get to know about everything. Now, what he will do that, the developer two, he will try to open this file. Okay, let me do one thing. Welcome to AWS session, something. He will just add this line and he will try to save this file. Once he does it, he will say git status. So it has been modified. He will say git commit -m first commit by uh, developer2, something like this, and he will specify the file. So once he did the changes, so what he will do, he will say git log. Now you could see that he has already committed it, but he has did a local commit actually. You want to push the same changes into the Git server actually, right? So what he will say git push origin master. This we have been seeing in every session, right? The same thing, whatever we did previous slide. See, git push origin master. So he has did it. Now if you come back to the Git server and he will say git log, now you could see that there are two commits have been come. One from the developer one, okay, and this is a commit ID, and other again one more is from the developer two, and this is the commit ID. So this is all fine. Now you know that actually now the two code push has been happened. Once there's a two code push has been happened. One is from the developer one and other from the developer two. Assume that there's one developer two is there, and he's doing a code push into the main master branch. Now there are two code push has happened. It means that this job will get triggered twice actually, right? Because Jenkins is integrated to the Git server. It means that actually what happened, right? In your production servers, what happened, right? Twice the build has been pushed actually. Correct. So the latest code changes is done by the developer too, and that changes will be reflected over in the production server. But in the real time, as I said, right, there will be a lot of bugs will be there in your code, right? Or your code will not be stable. So you are not allowed to do a direct, push or direct code come into the master. In fact, to be very, frank, actually, the developer one or developer two, they are never given any access to do a code commit to the master. Here what happened, right? If you do the git branch actually, see here the developer one is actually working under the master branch. Even the developer two is also working under the master branch. But in the real-time scenario, right, they are never given the access to the master branch itself because they are not given any permission to work on the master branch itself. Either what they will do in the real time, right? They will give they will create one branch actually, and they will give only permission to that branch. And they will say the Git administrator, the DevOps engineer will say that, okay, you do whatever you want in your branch. How many number of commit you want to do? Like you want to do 10 commits, 20 commits, 50 commits per day. You do everything. Once you do a commit to your branch, later I will try to merge all the changes from your branch to the master branch. So that who will do? The Git administrator will do. So the Git administrator or the DevOps engineer or Git maintainer, right? He will have the access to the master branch. Okay, not developer or developer. Developers will never have the permission to. That's what in the real time it happens, guys. Actually, so this is what. Okay, this is fine. Okay, now the real time comes. The real scenario comes, right? Oh, okay. I don't want to push the code into the direct to the master branch because the code is not stable. So assume that actually the one per day the developers has did some 50 pushes they did. Now you could see that only 45 times the build has failed actually. The build has failed. It means that this job build has failed. Only 5 times the job has been passed actually. So what the Git administrator, what the DevOps will say that because whatever the developer is doing the code, right, it is not stable at all. It means that he himself is not confident that whether the code will work or not. He's trying to simply push all the changes to the master branch. So in the real time, it is not the proper way. That is not the scenario. So hence what happened, right? They will create one more separate staging branch. They will create for the staging branch. They will have a separate pre-prod server. In the pre-prod server, the code pushes will be happening, and finally the testers are going to test or QA engineers will validate the changes actually. So that is what in the real time it happens, guys. Actually, now what it will do that actually now as I said right earlier, right? Who will create a branch actually? The branch can be created either by the Git server administrator or as the developer himself. They can create their own branch in their local machines. But we will see that how the the Git server first he will create a branch, and this branch will be shared across both these developers, and then those two developers will start working on this staging itself actually. So we will see this example first actually. So to do that, what they will do that what the Git will do, administrator will do, he will create one branch. So first let me execute the git branch command. Okay, so you are in the master branch. Okay, fine. I'll say git log. Okay, there are two commits have been done. Fine. Now what I will do, I'll say git branch and specify the branch name, something like staging. So you have created a staging branch. Now when I do a git branch and say enter, so here it will show that one branch has been created, a new branch by name staging. Now you could see that star has been maintained. Star means actually by default you're working inside the master branch. You want to switch to the other branch, then you have to say git checkout, specify that branch name like this. Now you could see that git branch. Oh, okay, you cannot check out like this because you are in the main git server, right? You cannot do a checkout actually. So why is this? I will tell you later. But you cannot check out. You have to be in the master branch itself. Okay. Now, now the stage batch has been created by your main git server. Now, when it comes to the developer one, now what the developer will do that he will also check what is in which branch I'm working. He will say git branch, branch. Okay. Now he'll say, okay, I'm working on master branch. Fine. So if I do a git log, okay, he will get to know, okay, I have already committed the one build actually, or one commit I have did from my end. Okay, fine. Now what he will do that he will do a git fetch actually. When you do git fetch, you could see that actually he has fetched the new branch from the master or from the main git server. Already master is running, he's already working on the master, but a new branch has been fetched. That's our reason you have to do a git fetch. Git fetch, what will do, it will try to fetch what are all the branches which are there in the master, I mean the git server, right? All those branches get fetched to that particular machine. So here the developer one, he has executed that git fetch command. Now if I execute the git branch, he is still not able to see the staging branch. So what he will do, he will say git branch -a he will do. Now you could see that, oh, now you could see that there is one more staging branch is there. So what he will do, he will say git checkout staging. See, now he has switched to the staging branch. Now if I execute git branch, now you could see that now he's working under the staging branch. Now one more thing, guys, very important thing. Whenever you are actually creating a branch, whenever you are creating a branch by using a git branch and specify the branch name, whenever creating a branch, always what happened, whatever the latest and the foremost code changes are there in the master branch, right? The whole code change will get copied to the staging actually. It get copied to the staging. Okay. Now what happened later, once you do a branch, create a branch, whatever the changes or whatever the latest code is there, that everything will get copied to the staging or the newly created branch. Further, a user or developer one, he's trying to do any kind of a changes or any kind of a commit he's trying to do either to the staging or to the master, that will not reflect in each other branch. It means that suppose I'm doing a lot of code changes to the staging branch, the same changes will not be seen in under the master branch. But while creating it, what it'll do, it'll try to copy the whole set of code from the master to the particular branch actually, right? So once you are doing a lot of changes into the staging branch, later you want to make it available in the master branch, you have to do a merge actually. You have to do a merge of the staging to the master branch. That we will see later. Okay. So this is foremost important, right? So what I did here, guys, I did a git checkout of staging actually. Now you are under the stager. Now if you see that when you do an ls, can you see that? See, this index.html is there. Okay, open this file, index.html file. Can you see both the changes? See, welcome to India and welcome to AWS session. See, both are there, right? Now, if you execute the git log, okay, though both this commit which was earlier done by the developer and developer, everything is there. Or it means that you are under the staging branch, but you could see all the changes, whatever is there in the master branch, right? It is even available now in the staging branch also. From here onwards, what happened? The developer one will start doing some changes actually. Okay. Now here what happened? I already have index.html file. I'll do one thing. I'll not touch this file. I'll create a new file. I'll say something like ecom version 1 dot html file. Something. I'll say welcome to. Sorry, welcome to ecom software version 1 like this. Okay, I'll copy it. I'll have written it and I have saved this file. Okay, a new file I have created. Who has created a file? Developer one has created a file. ecom-version1.html file. Okay, now what I will do, I'll say git status. Now it says that actually it is untracked file. I have to make it tracked. So I have to say git add and then say ecom. Now, if you do a git status, again, you will see the same thing, right? It has been now tracked actually. Now you want to do a code push. Actually, you have to do a commit actually. You have to say git commit -m. Okay, I'll say that uh, first commit of ecom hyphen version 1.html by it is a big this is a big string actually, but it's fine, by the developer one, and specify the file name. So now you could see that guys, he has did a commit. Now what he will do that once he did the commit, you could see again, you could see that I have executed this command, right? You have committed this new file now actually. Now if I do a git log, now you could see that the developer one has committed this file, a new commit ID has been created, right? Now what I will do that I want to push the changes into a git server actually. So what I will do that I'll say git push origin master, but I will not do origin master, right? Because you are actually pushing, you are under the staging, right? You have to do a git push origin staging, you have to say. Correct, guys? Once you do a git push origin staging, so you push to the staging actually. Now you go to the main git server. Now you do a, if you do a git branch, you could see that actually still it is pointing to the master itself. Correct? Now what you will do, you will say git log. This will show the log of your master itself. It means that, so these are the two commits which has been already been earlier. But here what happened, the git developer one, he has did one more code changes to the staging area, but here it is not reflecting. What I will do, I will do a git log of staging. Now here what happened, this commit has been come over here. It means that under the stager, what happened that this developer one has pushed the codes into the staging area, which is the new branch which is there in your git server. Now you could see that this changes are there here. You could see that first commit of e-commerce one version by developer one. See, okay, this is already there. I mean, it's been pushed now. Now what happened that as soon as you are doing changes to the stager, you remember now, right? I did the code changes to the staging now. As soon as I did the code changes to staging now, you could see that it will trigger the Jenkins job, this green color, right? Job 1, job 2, this will get triggered. Once this get triggered, whatever you have that e-commerce.exe, right, that will get pushed to your pre-production server. Once it pushed to pre-production server, here what happened that the build will get pushed into the server, and later the Q engineers will certify it, saying that whether the code is properly working into the pre-prod server. So this is the guys, this is the advantage of having a branches actually. It means that you are not directly doing any changes to the master branch at all. You are doing to your branch actually. Once this successfully says, once this thing successfully works, it means that what are the code commit or code change which is there in the pre-prod server, right? Once it has been certified by Q engineer saying that okay, everything is working fine, sir. Okay, now what I have to do that I have to do a merge of the stager to the master branch, because even the same code, if it is properly working in the pre-prod, it is 100% sure that the same code will work even in the production server also, right? Right? If this has been validated by the Q engineers, why not? This will definitely work even in the production server also. That's the reason to do changes to the production server, you have to merge the stager to your master branch. Okay, guys. So now what you have seen that here, we're executing git log staging. You could see that this bin commit has been done. Okay, fine. Now what the developer, the git administrator will do, right? He will try to merge this staging to the master branch. Now what he will do that, now the administrator come into the picture, the git or the DevOps engineer come to the picture. Now he has to do a merge of the code, right, from the staging to the master branch actually. So firstly what he will do that, he will do a git branch. He will first verify, okay, I am under the staging, I am under the master branch now, but I want to do a merge of the staging to the master branch. So what he will do, he will say git merge, okay, staging. You can do both this way. You can say like this actually, git merge staging, and you can say master. But since you are already into the master branch, you need not to specifically say the master. You can just omit this actually. So you are just merging the staging code into the master branch code. But this will not work. It will be a fatal error. This operation must be run into the working directory. Okay. So what the Git administrator will do, right? He cannot do directly into this server actually. What he has to do, right? Whatever you are having the code changes, right? Whatever the code changes are there in your stager, right? That you need to have a copy of somewhere into one of the other server. Like for example, the Git administrator, right? He can have a copy of that, the same code, right? He can have a copy in his local laptop itself. Instead of doing a server, he will have a local copy, or else he can create one more directory over here, and then like he will try to do the same changes. How we will do, right? See, I will try to uh, duplicate the same session, right? The Git server same session I will try to duplicate. See, root. So I'll copy it. What I will do, right? I'll do one thing, guys. I will see here. You're already having a project actually, correct? cd/project, correct? They're already having a project directory. Now what I will do, right? I'll create one more directory, something like mkdir slash operations, something, or else just say operations. Okay, I think I already have it. Okay, I already have it, guys. I'll remove it. Again, I'll create it, the directory mkdir operations. Operation directory. I'll create it. So I'll get inside operation directories and I'll say get init, initialize it. Now what I have to do, that I have to clone it actually. So to clone it actually, it means that, see what I'm trying to do here, guys, actually, that here being in a Git server, what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to do a Git merge of staging to the master. staging staging to the master. I'm doing this, but the Git server, the main server, is not allowing me to do directly onto the working branch. So what I will do, that what the Git administrator or the DevOps engineer can do, that he can have one more server actually. So what he can do, that actually he can have one more server. He can copy the whole content of the staging branch or the whole content to here in this server by running the git clone command actually. By running the git clone, he can copy it actually. The git clone root at the rate, give the IP address of the Git server. He can copy the whole thing. Here, what happened, right? Here he can do the changes, and from over here, he can actually do a git push origin master, like that he can do, so that what are the changes which are there and that he is trying to push into the master branch. You cannot directly merge over from being sitting under the Git server itself. You have to have a, you can do it in one more server, or else in the same server you can create one more directory, like how I did here. See, I create one more directory by name operations. Here I will try to do the changes. You can just observe what I'm doing. I'll say first git clone, root at the rate, give the IP address of this server, and what I'm copying it, I'm copying the whole project directory. Okay, because see here, you are trying to do a copy within the same server itself. So it'll ask you the password. So I'm giving the password. Okay. It has been cloned now. See, okay, I think I have not given the properly the password. Now I'm doing the proper. See, it has cloned now actually. You are cloned now. Now when you do a cd to the project, okay, now if you execute the git branch actually, now you could see that you are in the master branch. Now here again you will do a git fetch actually. Git fetch again, it will ask you the fast password. I will give the password. So the fetch has been done. Now if I execute the git branch, can you see that? Or if I do a git branch and I will do a -a option, now can you see that the staging has come into the picture now? Okay. Now what I will do, I will say git branch of staging. So I got into staging. Now if you execute the git log, see, can you see all the changes what has been done? The first commit by the developer one and everything. Or else what you have to do now, you have to do a what you have did, you know, like here from the developer one, you have pushed your put you are just your did the git push actually. Git push origin staging you have to do to the main staging actually, right? You did the git push actually. Now, if this is your main server, if you execute the command git log, and if you execute the git log and then say staging, you could see that these are the changes which has been done. You could see that the first commit done by the developer 2. Here also you could see that the first commit done by the developer 2. See, can you see the changes? Or it means that whatever you have did, right, everything is there in your local copy. You could see that if you execute the, you are under the operations directory, correct? Correct. Now, if I execute the git branch, I could say you are still in the master now. Now here you can do a git merge of staging to the master. Now see, the merge has happened now actually. The merge has happened now. Now here if I execute the git log, see, you could see that the first commit is developed by the developer 2. So it has been merged now. Now here what I will do that I will say git push origin origin master. So what I'm doing here, guys, please try to understand that here itself what happened, right? I have cloned it again by being under some other directory. So what I did here, guys, I just tried to create one more directory, mkdir operations, and I cloned it everything. And then what happened, right? I'm just trying to do a git fetch everything. I did it, git clone and git fetch everything I did, and then I'm doing a git merge staging I did. And finally, what I'm doing that actually I'm doing a git push origin master. I need to do now, right? So when you're doing it now, what happened that, see, you could make out here in your git server, right, in your main remote server. If I execute git log, see, uh, okay, hold a second, guys. I think the server is gone now. This server is down now. Okay, so yeah. So everything is up to date. How is everything is up to date? It is up to date. It should not be up to date, right? It should not be up to date. Okay, fine. So now you could see that the changes has been done, come into the master branch now. The changes has been done, come to the master branch now. Now the master branch is having the latest changes what has been done actually. So when I execute the git log, now you could see that the latest changes are there in the master branch. Now once the latest changes are there in the master branch, what happened, right? The changes has been done to the master branch. Now what happened, this job 1, job 2, job 3, this black color, right, this will get triggered, and the same build whatever which was running in the earlier in the pre-prod, right, that will get pushed into the production now. Clear, guys? So now what I will do that I have a developer too. I think it is gone now. I have to relog in again because it has timed out. Okay. So now what I will do that I will try to now the git one or the developer one has did the code changes now, guys, actually. Okay, he has did the code changes now. So now what I will do, I will try to log in into the other servers. Like again, I will try to log into the developer one. So this is a developer one. Okay, so I need to be under the developer one directory. Okay, here if you execute the command git branch, you know very well that I'm under say cd project, sorry, and then again git branch. So you are under the staging itself, right? Similarly, what happened, right? I will try to log into the developer two actually. The developer two. So copy the IP address of the developer two machine. So appearance 14, open it. So here what I will do, I will try to do a cd to the developer two. to the project. And here, what I will do, if I do a git branch actually, now you could see that they are having only one branch master. So what the developer 2 will do that he will do a git of fetch actually. Fetch means you need to fetch the staging also, right? The new staging branch from the main remote server, right? So that's the reason you did a git fetch actually. Now if you execute the git branch, you will not be able to see it. So what you have to do that you have to say git branch -a. So now you could see that you are having a staging now. Now if you execute the git checkout and then say staging actually. So you have got into the staging now, staging branch now. If I execute the git branch, you will see that actually that now you are into the staging. Now what I will do before I do any changes actually, let me get the log actually, git log. See, the first commit is done by the e-commerce by the developer one. So this is already there actually, right? Now what I will do that I will try to create one more file, ecom something, or else the same file will open it, vi ecom version 1. I will try to add this some more line. Welcome to ecom software version 2. So this is done by the developer 2. Save it. Now what I will do that I will just say git status. Guys, this is done by the developer 2 actually. Okay. So it has been modified. I'll say git commit -m. What? We'll say that the first commit of ecom -var1.html by developer 2 and then specify the file, right? Now if I execute the git log command, now you could see that the first commit of that is done by the developer 2. This has been committed and you got the commit ID, correct? Now what I will do, I'll execute the command git push origin to the master. But if I do an origin to the master, you are directly doing a code push to the master branch itself. You should not do it. You have to say that git origin push staging. So you pushed it actually. Now if you come back to your main server here, right? The main server here, if you execute git branch, you're having two branches, but if you execute the git log and specify the staging branch, now you could see that the first commit of e-commerce is done by developer 2. These changes are reflecting here. So as soon as these changes have been done in the under the staging actually, you know very well that now you have did the changes to the staging branch. Again, this set of jobs will get executed. Now the code push will get pushed to the pure product server. And again, the QA engineers will try to verify, test it, everything, saying that this code or what the software is stable or not. Now they'll certify that this software is stable. Now the Git admin will do, or the Git administrator or the DevOps engineer will do that. He has to do a merge of the staging to the master actually. So what he will do that, he will go here and he will say git merge of master staging to the master. But as you know that you cannot do this because it will not allow this operation into the main server. So that's the reason what happened that here you are having one more Git server here, right? You are having one more copy of it under the operations, right, guys? So now what I will do that I will do a Git hold a second, Git branch. Okay, you are under the master now. I will say Git checkout staging. Okay. Git pull origin staging. You're doing the code pull. I'll give the password. You're doing a complete code pull. Now, if you see that these changes are there now here, okay, I'll say git log. First, you will do a git branch just to verify that you are under stager. Okay, fine. I'll say git log. Now you could see that the first code commit done by the developer 2. First code, this is the previous by the developer 1. Everything, the changes are here. Okay. Now what you will do that you are under the staging now actually, guys. So now what I will do that you want to do the code push to the main master branch. But here, if you execute here in the main remote server, right? If you execute git log, now you could see that there are no changes are there here. So you have to do the push actually. So what you will do that here, you will do a git checkout to the master. So you are under the master branch now, git branch master. Guys, this I'm doing under the remote actually. See, I'm doing in the remote. Git branch. You're under the master itself. Now we will say git merge from the staging to the branch. Now you could see that now you have merged it actually. Once you have merged it, now if you do a git log, now you could see that this merge has been happened here, but you need to push the changes to the main master branch, to the remote branch, right? Now you will do a git push origin master. Sorry, origin master. See, now you pushed it now. Now come back over here into the main master branch, do a git log. Now you could see that all the changes has been come over here into the main master branch. Once it has been come into the main master branch, there's a change happen into main master branch. So the job has to get triggered here, Jenkins, because your Git server has been integrated with your Jenkins actually. Once this main master branch has been changed, these jobs will get executed, the black one, and then this code, whatever the code is there, that will get pushed into the production server. So guys, this is how it happens, guys, in the real-time scenario. Means that you need to create a branch, and then you need to like push that branch into your main Git server. Later you need to do a merge. You could see that now the Git administrator or the DevOps, right? He has to track many things, right? He has to track, even he has to see that if there is any merge conflict is there. So in the next class, what we will do that we'll continue from here itself, and we will see that we will take a small example how to avoid the merging and all everything, how to delete the branch and everything. And the second scenario, what we have not covered is that here the developer itself will try to create his own branch. Here what happened, the Git server has created a staging branch, and here the developer and developer has fetched that branches actually. Now the next scenario comes where the developer and developer 2 have created their own branches, like by name developer 1, which has been created by the developer 1 branch, and the developer 2 has been created. Developer 2 branch has been created by the developer 2 itself. This we will see in the next session actually. Okay. So, and then like how to delete the branch, we will do few more practicals we will see, so that you will get to know everything. Okay. Guys, today I was little fast actually, but you have understood the crux of what is the Git branch, right? It is little bit confusing. What I will do tomorrow, I will do it a little bit slow tomorrow. I will show you one more time the same practical what I did today. I will try to reproduce the same thing, and from there I will continue further. Hope that makes sense for you.
Okay.
What about other guys? It is confusing, or somewhere you have missed the track. I know I was little fast now, but I will try to show you the same thing tomorrow in a slow pace, so that you will understand a little bit more better way. Okay. Sure, yes. Okay, then I think I will stop the session. Somebody can stop the record. Not able to stop.
Yes,
Others?
sir.
Yeah, anyone others can stop it. Just click over here in the stop recording. Okay. Fine, guys. So what we will do, we will see tomorrow. Okay. Any other guys can try out to stop the session? Fine, no problem. We'll leave now. Okay. Thank you all. Bye. Good night. Bye. Bye, Naresh. Bye. Good night.
Bye, sir.